Yo, what's good, people? It's your boy, Mr. Cheap Sense, back once again. Hold on a second. I got a little bit of, looks like a little bit of smudge on my camera. Alright, so I am sitting here watching Toronto and Philly play. I'm assuming this is game 6 or 7. And hopefully Toronto can pull this out, because I would love to see Kawhi Leonard at least go to the finals. But the conference finals. But regardless to the fact, by subscribers' request in helping me get my subscribers up, as y'all can see, I'm rocking my hat again, Mr. Cheap Sense. Thanks again. I have started, I started last week subscribing to some fragrance sites on Facebook. And I was just sitting as I was, half watching the game and half on Facebook. I ran across a video. Now, I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus. I'm not name dropping or nothing like that. And I'm not hating. But something that kind of bothered me. Most of us go on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and we buy stuff, and we're proud of our collections. And so we, post pictures of what we wear for the day, scent of the day, or we go back and do, fragrances of the week, or, if we buy a new purchase, a new fragrance, we post it, whatever. Because we're proud, we found something good. So this guy goes online, and, I'm not going to say too much because he'll know who he is. Which I'm probably pretty sure he's going to know who he is if he sees this video. Probably don't even know who I am, but it really don't matter, whatever. So, he says, in which I don't disagree with this. Never live above your means when it comes to anything, not just the fragrance world, but anything. I don't disagree with him as far as what I just said about, living above your means. Don't get into the game fragrance world for the sole purpose of just how many bottles you can get. Try and get some good stuff that, that's going to last you, that's going to smell good. If you can't afford some of the higher end stuff, if you need help, there are people out there like this guy, Mr. Cheap Sense, who can help you and guide you along the way. Not just me, but there are some other people out there, that can help also. But this guy says that basically we are online and we are bragging or glorifying having all these bottles in our collections, and we don't need to have so many bottles. And in the same breath, turns around and tells us how he goes to Saks and buys, and I'm just using this bottle as reference because this is not what he bought. He holds up a brand new bottle of Bond. I don't remember which one it was. It was actually in the bottle that's colored like this color. And so Bonds are expensive. He holds up one of those bottles in the same breath as saying he don't know why people has to go online and post pictures of their bottles and videos and all that stuff. And he does the same exact thing in the same breath, which is contradicting the heck out of himself. And then turns around and says he don't see why people have so many bottles but then turns around and says he could probably go a year or almost 2 years without wearing the same fragrance more than once. I'm not understanding the premise of your video, homeboy. If you know what I'm saying, you got just as many fragrances as everybody else does, because I have just as many. I actually have 240 some odd fragrances, and I can go almost 3 years, close to it, without wearing the same fragrance twice. And I'm proud of my collection. And if I choose to want to show my collection off, then that's what I'll do. That's my prerogative. That's not anybody else's prerogative. If nobody likes it, then they don't have to tune into it. And if nobody was to subscribe to my channel at all, or allow me into their fragrance pages, it wouldn't matter, because I still do it regardless. I was doing reviews with no subscribers in the beginning, and I didn't care whether I had any or not. So people jump on here and make these assumptions, and sometimes it don't even make sense when you say one thing and then turn around in the same breath, in the same sentence, you contradict what you just said. That makes no sense to me whatsoever, man. So people like that, I overlook. I don't pay them any attention. And then, just in case you guys don't know what this is Boucheron Pour Homme Eau de Parfum. Something that Joy Amin threw out there, and I bought into the hype. I saw it. It smells kind of dated, but it's okay. It's not something that I wear a lot. I think I might have worn this once or twice. It's still pretty much a full bottle. I can't think of too many situations I would want to wear this in, though. But anyway, people like that, I just pay them no mind, man. I mean, I just keep doing what I'm doing. If I want to own 600 bottles of cologne, that's what I'm going to do. Sometimes I just don't understand. I mean, I guess if I was into the higher end fragrances or something like that, then I guess he probably wouldn't even say anything about it. But being that people like me can't afford all of those higher end fragrances like Bond or Creed or anything like that, they always have to try and look down on the people who buy stuff like this. And he may not be talking to people like me in specific, but it just, to me, makes no sense to downplay another person when you got just as much fragrances, just as many fragrances as the next guy does. Just because your fragrances may cost triple or quadruple the price that I pay for mine doesn't make your collection any better than mine. And I know some of these things I'm throwing out there may not be what he was meaning, but I'm just saying in general, for me, I don't understand why people hate. Like when I go on websites or people's posts, and I don't go in there and say, don't buy Creed because yada, yada, yada. I might tell somebody Creed is a nice fragrance, but I can't afford it due to the price. I don't go in there and say, don't buy Creed because it costs $200, $300, $400, $500. That's not what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, that's not my business. If somebody can afford to spend $700 on a fragrance, like one time I heard somebody say that there's a fragrance out there that costs like $1,500. I can't remember what it was, and I think Cuba Knows was the one who said that one time. If not $1,500, it was more than that. But if somebody can afford that, that's their prerogative. I can't hate on that person just because they can afford to spend $1,500 on one bottle of cologne and I can't. That's not what I do. Now, I can't say, oh, better him than me because I can't do it. I can say that. But I am not going to go in here and say, I don't see why he bought that. Like, what sense does that make? It makes perfect sense to him because he bought it. So, I don't know, man. I understand what some of the other fragrance reviewers like Joy Amin and Jeremy Fragrance and some other people who are in the midst of some drama at one point in time, the fragrance community is so jacked up, man. Like, people have their priorities so wrong and mixed up. They worry about the wrong stuff. Instead of just worrying about your content and your content only, you got to worry about, you got to monitor and filter your content. You got to monitor and whatever to my content, to Big Beard Business content, to, you know, anybody small like me or smaller than me's content. Like, that don't make sense to me. I go online all day and I see fragrances and I read reviews, and a lot of stuff I choose not to comment on because my opinion, at the end of the day, really doesn't matter to whoever is posting it. So I'm not going to go in there and be negative about nothing. If they ask a question, like if they say, hey, I'm looking into buying Boucheron, any suggestions? Then yeah, I'll be like, okay, well, Boucheron smells kind of dated. It's not for everyone. You may not like it, but if you find it for a decent price, try it. Or if you can find a sample of it somewhere, try it first and then buy it. But I'm not just going to jump in here and say, don't waste your time, homeboy, you know, yada, yada, yada. That's not me. At the end of the day, it's still up to whoever is purchasing it, whether they're going to do it or not. Because I've had people tell me all the time on YouTube, don't buy this, don't try that, it sucks, yada, yada, yada. And then days later, I go back and get it. Because I'm hard-headed like that anyway. And I feel like it's my money, and if I want to waste my money buying it, I'm going to try it and see what happens. Especially if I can't find a store like Ulta or Belk's in this area that has it already open in a tester that I can smell it. A lot of stuff like these older fragrances, you're not going to be able to find in stores like Ulta, Belk's, Macy's, Saks and all that. They don't carry stuff like this. They don't carry stuff like Tommy Hilfiger and stuff like that that's already open that you can smell. So a lot of us can't even get samples of this to smell because they don't have them. People aren't just sitting around with Boucheron on their shelf and people are asking, hey, can I buy a sample of Boucheron? Like, who the fuck? Like, that makes no sense to me. But me personally, if I see it and I'm interested, I'm going to get it regardless. And I am going to post it. I'm going to continue to do my videos. And when my collection gets a little bit bigger, I'm going to post another video of my collection. So if somebody doesn't like that, you can always unsubscribe to my channel or whoever else's channel. Or you don't have to even subscribe at all. You can just click on the video, watch it, and say, hey, be judgmental. This dude don't know what the hell he's talking about. I'm not going to subscribe to his channel. Fine with me. I didn't know you anyway. So, it is what it is, man. Let me hit this lemonade real quick. Oh, man. Anyway, I just don't get the fragrance world. This is so simplistic, yet complicated at the same time. Complicated because you have to do your homework when it comes to fragrances. And if you don't, 9 times out of 10, or at least 7, 8, or 9 times out of 10, you're going to end up with a bunch of bad fragrances that you're not even happy with, and you just wasted money. Simplistic as far as like, you can always just go and buy a bunch of shit and just have it and not even care. In which I try not to do. Everything I buy, I at least try and get some information on. And, excuse me, get information on before I purchase something. And I look up note breakdowns. I see the likes and dislikes on fragrances. And I try to get an understanding of it, how it works, projection, longevity, all that stuff. And I might not talk about a lot of that stuff in my videos at times because I'm not like a full-fledged professional at this. This really is just something I do in my free time. I just enjoy doing it, and the subscribers of the channel makes it fun, especially when I was able to do lives. So I don't know, guys. It's just, you know, some of the stuff I can wade through and, you know, maybe walk around or ignore, put a blinder up or a wall there and, you know, Captain America shield it off. But sometimes this stuff I read, and it really gets to me, man, because people make things so difficult when it's just that easy to just not say nothing at all and don't worry about what other people got going on. It's sad that this guy sits in his man cave and worries about or thinks about what people are posting on Facebook or their channels or what they choose to do with their phones and colognes. If people want to post videos or photos of their colognes every single day, that's their choice, man. Let them do that. Let them have that, man. I mean, it's not yours, mine, or anybody else's responsibility to monitor what the hell somebody else posts when it comes to their fragrances. People are proud of what they buy. Just like a new car. You don't have to post everything on Facebook and let the world into everything, but this is not something that's that serious. Like, I can understand if you posting your relationship problems on Facebook, then that's different. Don't nobody need to know what's going on in your household. But when it comes to something like buying a fragrance and you want to post it, I don't see what's the harm in that. I really don't see what's the harm in that. But some people's priorities and, you know, their views about things are so twisted to the point where, you know, it clouds their judgment also, and it makes them feel like they're on a higher pedestal, like you really teaching somebody something. You ain't teaching nobody jack, homeboy. So it is what it is, man. This video going on 18 minutes, and I'm missing the ending of this game. It should be about 5 or 4 minutes left. So I'm going to get back to it, guys. So you have a great evening to all the mothers out there all over the country, the world, the planet. Happy Mother's Day. Peace.